Okay, so good evening all of you. In this session we will discuss about differences in usage of async and await in ForEach, for loop and for off loops. Okay, so yesterday we have seen one example about this. Okay, we just revise that example. Please observe carefully. So I didn't change anything. So as it is on yesterday example. So here we are getting response from MySQL. So that will be stored in DB response. Okay. So see this DB response. So the result of for each loop that will be stored in result array, and or else we can write like this, reach array. Okay, you just paste it. So the result of for each that will be stored in for each array, the result of for loop that will be stored in for loop, as well as for off result will be stored in for off array. Okay, so yesterday we didn't get any result. Okay, so you just execute that. You can observe this, I didn't change anything. So why it is came means, see this. So why it is came means, here actually for each async and await, so that is we should not use in for each loop. Okay, if we use, sometimes it will produce the result, sometimes it will not return any result. Okay, at what cases it will return the result, at what cases it will not return the result, I will give one example. Okay, so here just I am commenting. Hello. Okay, please mute yourself. So here I am commenting for loop array, for loop and for off loops. Okay, and now check the result. Now we are not getting any result for each loop, for loop, for off. Anyway, we comment on for loop and for off loops code. Okay, but we didn't make a comment for each loop. See this. Okay, so why? Because it was not able to. We are using async and await in for loop, for each loop, so that it was not able to return the result. Okay, so here I am just uncommenting for loop. Okay, not for off. Okay, you observe this. This time it is getting result. Okay, for each loop, for loop. Okay, I am just commenting for loop and uncommenting for off loop, and now execute. Now also I am getting result for each loop and for off loop. Okay, so that means my intention is, if you use async and await keywords in for each loop, okay, it won't return any result. But if you use any for loop, any loops which will have async and await keywords, okay, then that for each loop will produce the result. Okay, so see this. That's why we call it as it is inconsistent. use ForEach and async await, then it won't get any result. So in a API method, if you use ForEach with async and await, then it will not return any result. If you use one more loop or something async and await, then it is giving result. Okay, so that it is better to avoid async await in ForEach. Okay, if you want to use async and await, you go for loop or for off. Okay, so you just practice this example. Okay, so actually we should not write the query like this. Why? Because if the ForEach, if this DB response array is having hundreds of records which comes from the MySQL, then hundreds of hits will be done for MongoDB. Okay, so it is not a good practice. So I am telling about usage of async and await in ForEach. So for that purpose only I am telling this. Okay, so it is not recommended. Why? Because the number of hits on the MongoDB, that will be depends on the number of objects exist in the DB response. Okay, so I will explain. So in that cases, how do you write the code? In later I will explain. Okay, don't worry. I think all of you get the clarity about this, or else I will explain one more example for this. It is very, very important. Test.ts. So here set user IDs. I am taking 1, 2, 3 user IDs, and I am writing one function get users of. So it is having one parameter that is called ID and console.log. User or no problem, just return user space ID. Okay, so if I pass 1 to this function, then it has to display user 1, 2 means user 2, 3 means user 3, like that. Okay, and for this example I am using 3 different types of loops. Okay, so for each, for loop, for off. Okay, after that we will get some result. So to capture that result, I want to store that result in 3 different variables, like let, or for each loop I want to use this array for each list. And for loop, for list, for off list. Okay, these are the 3 different variables which will be used to capture the respective results. Okay, so one variable, that is array 1, 2, 3. It has these 3 values. One method, it will have one parameter. That parameter is concatenated with the user string. Okay, now I am writing for each users IDs dot for each of element. Okay, so let user equal to, so I want to use this get users method, and I am passing element ele, that means first element, second element, third element. Okay, so next, after getting the result, that will be stored in user variable. Okay, so I want to capture this for each list dot push of user. Okay, after that I am displaying console.log, and this one is I am giving some name to that array for each. Okay, just for execution of this program, first of all, this is .ts file. So tsc space test.ts space pipe symbol and node test.js. Okay, so here, so this command, it will convert TypeScript code into JavaScript code, and this command node test.js, it will convert, that means it will execute JavaScript code. Okay, so result, so here I am having result. Okay, if I use await keyword here, so it is expecting async. Okay, so I am using async here. See the result, see empty output. Okay, it is not able to print that output. Okay, so same result I am going to display with for loop. Okay, so for loop, let I equal to 0, I less than user IDs dot length I plus plus, and let j equal to get users method and pass I value. And for capturing the for loop result, we have one array for list dot push, and here you have to pass j value. Okay, so here we didn't use await. Okay, so I am using await. So instead of to use await keyword, we have to use async. Okay, I am just putting this entire logic into one function that is called f1, and here, so after pushing the result into for list, I'm going to display for list result. So for list, okay, now see this, sorry, I didn't call the function. See this, so it is going to display the result user 0 1. Oh, sorry, so user 0 1, not this one. Here I need to write user IDs of I, otherwise it is taking position numbers. So now it came user 1, user 2, user 3. Okay, so same type of result, async function f2, and here for of syntax is let I of user IDs. And here let j, same syntax, sorry, let j equal to await get users of, so here I, and after getting the value in j, we need to push into for of list dot push of I, and console dot log. I'm going to display for of list, and here going to call f2 function. See the output. See, so for each, so in all these loops we are using async and await. Okay, so if I delete this await keyword in for each, then see the output. I am getting the result. Okay, if I put await, okay, so this is the difference. This is the best example. I think all of you understand this example. Okay, so why we should not use async await in for each. Okay, how can we use async await in for loop and for of loops? See, one more case. Here I want to push the values in for loop. Okay, for each list I am using in the place of for list. Okay, I want to push the results from for loop into for each list array. Okay, you observe this. So actual output, same type of output I have to get, but it is different. See this. So different type of output I am getting. See this. So here I didn't do anything. Same. So for each list array is used in for each loop. So same array I am going to use in for loop also. Okay. So the result of for loop I am going to store in for each list. Okay. So at that time, see what happened. User 123 is coming twice. Okay. So this type of inconsistency will come. Okay. So if I use for each list array in for of list also, then you can observe. See this. Okay. 3 times. Sorry. Here J I have to use, not I. See this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 times I am getting. Okay. So for of list reach. Sorry. So if I use respective arrays in respective loops, then I am getting the result like this. So this is about for each, for of, for loop.